Hey everyone, this is another great nutrition video brought to you by Optimal You, Amway's premier wellness program. I'm Sarah Van Eerden, one of the registered dietitians with Optimal You.
And I'm Wendy Brookhouse, the other registered dietitian. Combined, Sarah and I have over 30 years experience in the field of nutrition. And did you know that all Amway employees, dependents, and spouses receive free nutrition consultations?
Call or email us today to schedule an appointment. We can't wait to meet you. Today we're going to talk about moving beyond rice and pasta and using intact whole grains. Whole grains are a healthy part of the diet, but the type of grain and what it's served with determines whether it's a healthy choice or not. Pictured here is a whole grain versus a white or enriched grain. A whole grain includes all three portions of the plant, the bran, the endosperm, and the germ, while the white grains or enriched grains are just using that middle endosperm layer, which is devoid of all of those nutrients. So when you're choosing a whole grain, you're getting the most vitamins, minerals, protein, and fiber that that grain has to offer. And these types of grains actually have a lower glycemic index, meaning they don't raise your blood sugar as high as the more refined versions. So some examples here are products that are made from grains. So crackers, breads, bagels, chips, cereal, and foods made with flours. And although some of these products can be made with whole grains and can be healthy choices, it's often a lot healthier choice to choose intact whole grains. So some are pictured here, and there are many more to choose from, but these are more common ones. Brown rice is one option, which is definitely well known, but some other ones allow you to get a little more creative in the kitchen and experiment with different flavors. There are some intact choices for whole wheat. One might be called farro, and another one is wheat berries. And these are found just by the rice in the grocery store. And I've even started to see them on some restaurant menus for choices when you're dining out. Oats can also be a whole grain, as well as corn, buckwheat, barley, and rye. So cooking intact grains, you boil them just like rice, and I like to use plenty of water and then drain, but you can also measure the appropriate ratio of grains to liquid, and you can read about these new whole grains at the Whole Grains Council. So if you're wondering about quinoa, they'll have an entire section that tells you all about quinoa or farro or wheat berries. You can also definitely make an appointment with a dietitian to talk about that as well. But some grains have been pearled and will cook quicker. So this is important to know, just so you don't overcook or undercook these grains. Generally, if you're buying them in a supermarket, it has been pearled, and they'll have cooking instructions right on the bag. But if you are buying it in bulk, I've found that these grains have not been pearled. Pearling means that there's some nicks in the outer bran, so it lets the water in quicker. So as far as farro goes, for example, if it's been pearled, it cooks in about 15 or 20 minutes. If it's not been pearled, it takes about 55 minutes. So it's just a difference in timing and just how long something's going to take to cook. A couple more cooking tips for these intact grains. While it's definitely not required, an over-the-sink mesh colander is definitely helpful. So this colander strains out the liquid without losing any of those small grains through the larger holes of your traditional spaghetti strainer. And then another great tip that definitely saves me many weeknights is that you can freeze these whole grains after they've been cooked. So anytime a recipe uses brown rice or uses quinoa or farro, go ahead and cook extra and then package it up and label it, and you can pop it in the freezer and then easily thaw it overnight or even in the microwave. So what to do with some of these intact grains? Because I know when I first bought quinoa, I think it sat in my cupboard for about a year because I was a little bit intimidated. But pictured here is kind of a popular way to use them, which is called a grain bowl. So you'll notice that about half of this bowl is vegetables. So they've got the sauteed spinach, the tomatoes, they've added some healthy fat through the avocado, and then they're serving it with an egg for a little bit of protein. Another thing you can do is kind of make these cold salads. So pictured here is tabbouleh. So we've got cucumber, tomato, lots of herbs, and then this is going to have a vinaigrette on it. So you can almost treat these whole grains like they are romaine lettuce. So you add your toppings, you add your vinaigrette, nuts and seeds, and you really get a nice hearty salad out of it that gives you lots of leftovers for the week ahead. You can also go kind of towards the sweet side instead of savory. So this is going to be a breakfast quinoa with berries, a little bit of dried fruit, nuts. You could even add flaxseed or chia seed, cinnamon, maybe even pumpkin pie spice. So there's a lot of ways to kind of use these whole grains for breakfast. We're definitely used to oatmeal, which is one way to kind of make a breakfast porridge, but you can really branch out and use different whole grains to make easy breakfasts in the morning. And then another option here is just to use them as a side dish for a simple dinner. So we've got some steamed veggies, some baked salmon, and then some barley or wheat berries kind of mixed with some vegetables to give it a little bit of flavor. So the options are really endless. If you would like to talk more about how to use intact whole grains and get the most benefits from all the fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals they have, definitely make an appointment with a dietitian. We'd be happy to talk to you about that.
Thanks for watching. If you have any additional questions about what you heard or any other nutrition topic, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Have a great day.